Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to another video. How's the world been treating you, and how have you been? Now, you're probably wondering why I haven't been uploading any new videos recently. In fact, it's been 8 months since I uploaded my last video. Well, you see, that's mainly because I've been finishing my last few classes in college, and I just finished my last class and graduated. So yeah, I'm pretty much done with college. I have no more distractions or no more excuses to not make videos anymore. So I can continue to make videos where I trash talk about your favorite cities, towns, or states. Just kidding. I'm not really going to trash talk about the cities, states, or towns that you love. But I will talk about the negative aspects nonetheless. And that will be the case for this video. In this video, I'm going to talk about the 5 cities you shouldn't move to or visit. Well, 5 cities and towns you shouldn't move to or visit in the Golden State, California. If you've been paying attention to the news lately or just been paying attention to the media, you will know for a fact that a lot of people have been moving out of the Golden State within the past few years. California has been driving the residents out, whether it's high cost of living, crime, the fact that the cities are falling apart, the protests, the riots, the corrupt government, whatever. You name it, anything could be pretty much a reason to not live in the Golden State anymore. Particularly the major cities like Los Angeles and San Francisco. And yeah, of course, these are the cities you should avoid because of what's been going on there for the past 3 years. But if you think those cities are bad in their current state, they are a joke compared to the cities and towns I'm about to name. You're probably thinking of moving to the Golden State, and there are still people doing that. There are still people moving to California, and you're one of those people, probably. But before you do, here are the 5 cities and towns you need to blacklist before you move to California. Number 5, San Bernardino. This town with just under 215,000 people is one you would definitely want to miss, especially considering the fact that it has a high unemployment rate of 11.3%, so good luck getting a job in this town. And it doesn't end there. In addition to a high unemployment rate, it also has a high crime rate. In 2019 alone, there were 147 homicides, and there has been a 19% increase in violent crime in the years from 2015 to 2019, according to Money Inc. and Statista. There's been a 38% increase in rape, 31% increase in aggravated assault, and 4% increase in robbery. If at all possible, probably best to avoid any of the towns close to or near Los Angeles, especially with how that city's been going downhill for the past 2 years. Probably better to live elsewhere in California, except for the next 4 places that I'm going to talk about. Number 4, Desert Hot Springs. Now don't get your hopes up. You might think that with the word springs in the name means that it's a nice resort town where there's like nice springs to relax in, but you'd be dead wrong. In fact, it's actually quite the opposite. This town is actually lacking amenities and leisure, or things to do in general. It has a low median household income of $32,000, making it a crappy place to live, unless of course you're broke. 1 in 4 homes are vacant. It has a huge homeless problem, which I'm not surprised with. A lot of cities in California have this problem. And it has a very bad crime rate. The annual crime rate is 218 violent crimes per year and 480 property crimes per year. And it's ranked safer than only 26% of U.S. cities. Number 3, Commerce. The poor economy is just a fraction of one of the reasons why you shouldn't move to Commerce, California. In fact, this is actually widely regarded as one of the worst economies in the entire state of California. On top of that, the violent crime and property crimes in this town don't look very good. It has 136 violent crimes with 10.99 violent crimes per 1,000 residents and 1,073 property crimes, approximately 86.69 property crimes per 1,000 residents, making this one of the most dangerous and one of the least pleasant and poorest places to live in the state of California. Number 2, Adelanto. This town of about 34,000 residents doesn't look good on the employment side. 15.6% of residents are unemployed. The closest city or town with jobs is Victorville. Many Adelanto residents actually work in this town. And if not, well, you're out of luck because you're going to have to drive all the way to San Bernardino, the other crappy town on this list to live in, or to Riverside just to get a job. Crime isn't looking too good either. Well, it does have better crime statistics, or should I say safer, than the previous entry on the list. It's safer than only 39% of U.S. cities. Violent crime rate in Adelanto is about 275 per year, which is about 7.23 for every 1,000 residents. Property crimes about 309 per year, 8.12 that is, property crimes for every 1,000 residents. Lack of leisure and places to shop, not much to do, to be honest, and honestly, it's not a very pleasant place to live, considering the fact that this town, the borders within this town, are filled with jails or are surrounded by jails and federal prisons. It is home to the High Desert Detention Center and the ICE Processing Center, and it doesn't get any better here. I might be confusing this with the previous entry on the list, Desert Hot Springs, but I did hear that Adelanto was a town that a lot of prison inmates moved to after they finish serving their prison sentence and start going through the process of correcting themselves and getting back on their feet. So unless you want to live in a town with filled with federal prisons, detention centers, and people who just got out of prison, probably cross Adelanto off your list. And for our number one spot is Clear Lake. Don't let the name fool you. I mean, they might have a clear lake in the town, but that's probably the only decent quality of Clear Lake, California. This town doesn't boast a high population. I mean, it only has like 15,000 residents, but it doesn't boast anything good either. 18% unemployment rate, high poverty rate. The median home value is the lowest in California at about $96,500. The crime rate, it's only safer than just like, what, 12% of U.S. cities? Violent crime isn't looking so good, with 127 violent crimes at 7.61 violent crimes per 1,000 residents, and property crimes of 430 property crimes and 25.77 property crimes per 1,000 residents. This is the city, the town, technically, that you must avoid at all costs if you ever decide to go to California or move there. There are probably better towns out there. Remember how I didn't talk so good about Fresno? Well, I think Fresno is 10 times better, 20 times better to live in when compared to Clear Lake, California. This town should be on the do not travel to list on any of your travel or even move to lists. Well, ladies and gentlemen, that concludes my 5 worst cities and towns in the state of California video. If you don't live in any of these cities or towns, congratulations, you don't have it too badly. Otherwise, unless you are managing to get by in those cities and towns, like have a place to live, have a source of income, have things to do, and are managing to get by safely, then it's probably best you consider living in a different city or town. Possibly even in a different state. I mean, there are a lot of people moving out of California who've been paying attention in recent years. A lot of people have been driven out of the state even before 2020 with what's going on there. However, if you're still planning on moving there, make sure you cross these locations off this list, or if you're already in the state and are planning to move to a different city or town, take a look at what I have to say of these cities and cross them off your list before you move elsewhere. Overall, I hope you enjoyed this video. Be sure to smash that like button and hit that subscribe button. I look forward to seeing you guys all again in my next video.